Who is Donna Chester Jeffrey Dahmer's probation officer? This is part 2. All right. So we left off with part 1. I was explaining me being a neighbor and my childhood memories and imprints and dream visions and premonitions of me having as a child. That was the childhood of my life with Jeffrey Dahmer. So now we're going to talk about Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and their reputation for white privilege, racism, discrimination, and hate. If you want to call it police brutality of Milwaukee. So first I want to say, yes, everything I just said, everything about that is a fact, that is correct. The Milwaukee Police Department, I done had so many terrible run-ins with them, starting with waiting 90 minutes to come to my stepfather that raised me rescue because he was stabbed to death by a white woman, and she got off, because of all the money she had, and fled the country. And my grandmother's body was taken by a white supremacist and white premises, a lady that she grew up with that was white supremacist, and that was a Klan member, and we didn't find out about that till years later because she hid it. My grandma hid it and fought her for years about it because we were colored individuals. I'm also a survivor. I'm a victim. Right now I have a case that's active for discrimination, hate, and racism. I can't tell you, what it's like to not be listened to not be heard, or nobody want to hear what you got to say. Like, I done contacted Channel 4 News. I done contacted Reverend Jesse Jackson. I done contacted my homie Lamont at Large. I want to give a shout out to him and thank him for my support, for just believing in me and believing I was telling the truth, because that's what's important. I done reached out to Tyler Perry. Let's see. The last person I want to reach out is to City Hall, but I am happy to say that they're getting a lot of phone calls, because like I said, I have a conclusion, and I'm almost there, that I want to say about the victims and my grandmother, and for my family and myself. It's really hard because we can't all be as one or equal as one. They separate you sometimes up in Milwaukee when I was there, because like I said, I lived there all my life and I had relocated. But it felt like the South sometimes. It felt like Jim Crow laws, like Janesville, Wisconsin. As you know, the KK Klan leader lived there. I've been there before, I've been to the city Janesville, and like I said, the people here, the things I can tell you from they not want you to touch their hands, them pushing their money towards you. If they drop something, you help them. They don't want you to pick it up. Their behavior, their attitudes, how they treat you. You just not heard. You just not important because of a different color. And I just want to tell people, whether people want to believe it or not, there's only one God, and God created all, which is us, which is mankind. He created this whole earth, and he made all of us as one. We all bleed, we all have a heart, we all breathe, and we cannot do none of that without the God Almighty. And it just sickens me. And I'm also a revolutionary speaker, and it makes me sick to death that we all just can't be one, and we all gotta be misjudged or slandered, not heard, you know what I'm saying? And people just misleading because of our skin color. That's why my grandma was so protective of us. That's why she hid us from the public, and that's why we was never shown, or no one ever known about us, and we was not in the public, because She kept us, protected. She kept us loved. She kept us safe because of all the evils in the world like this. Now, as far as, me watching the Dahmer series, I'm not going to lie to the world. I feel like that was a race case. To me, it doesn't matter if you poor, what you do, your sexuality. I don't care about none of that. People are people and everybody is a human being. Whether you're a prostitute, whatever you do, you know what I'm saying? People are human beings and nobody has the right to have what had happened to the victims, what Jeffrey Dahmer did to them. Nobody deserves that. No one deserves that. And it was like crucifixion. It was like, like I done seen some deaths in the world where people crucify human beings way worse than Jesus Christ could ever be crucified. And that is horrible. But it just lets you know the evils of the world. Like, people are going to say what they're going to say. People talked about Jesus Christ. People are going to say things about you, good or bad. All you could do is live up to your standards. Stand up for who you are. Fight for who you are. And die for who you are and represent. Because at the end of the day, like for me, example, I want people to know who I am. I want people to know that Donna Chester is my grandmother. I want people to know that if they want to do anything to make anything right, and if I could be a part of it, or if I could contribute or be, support or have a team to do something to change the world just a little bit, I would love to do that. I am the new generation. I believe I was put here for a purpose. I believe I grew up I fell into my grandma's image and her footsteps. I'm also going to school as well to be a detective for SVU, to work my way up as an FBI agent. That is my dream, to be in the field. Because, like I said, I got another part coming about abuse, so we don't want to, mix too many subjects in one. We just want to stay on one topic. But I just want people to know that it's real in Milwaukee, the racism, the hate, discrimination, and it hurts so bad. Because, like I said, you see it on TV, but when you see it up close and personal, it's like you can't believe your eyes. But like I said, we have to open our eyes to the evils of the world because it does exist. And unfortunately, that is a major problem, that exists, as far as racism, because it bothers me, like people making Dahmer's costumes, people making, like opening up the cannibal tour in Milwaukee of Dahmer. They making all these documentaries, these movies and everything about Dahmer. But what about the victims? Okay, people say they don't want the victims memorial at Dahmer apartment or where it happened at. It ever occurred to anybody that maybe the victim name, the Dahmer, should be somewhere historical? What about the victim's name should be somewhere, Dahmer victim's name should be somewhere sentimental, a special place, a place where they honored in history, because they are a part of history that should be remembered of all times. Because the world is not going to stop, the evil worlds, the sins of the world is not going to stop making money off of Dahmer and telling Dahmer's story. So why not? It's just like if you was in the Hall of Fame and they was getting a star as a celebrity or entering the Hall of Fame. They like Malcolm X. They like Martin Luther King. And they deserve to be put in history somewhere sacred, sentimental, somewhere where they can be remembered as a very important part of history in Milwaukee. Who is Donna Chester Jeffrey Dahmer's probation officer? This is part 2, going into part 3, and will be continued.